Twisted Auto Garage here with another video. Today I want to talk about how to remove a governor from a 212 Predator engine. You can get these engines from like Harbor Freight for like $100. But let's go ahead and void your warranty already by taking the governor out. So the tools you need today is needle nose pliers, a 10mm, and a 5/16 socket. And you'll also need a Phillips head screwdriver, a long flathead, a hammer of sorts, and let's get started. So the first thing you'll have to do is disconnect this hose right here, and let's take the airbox off so we can help disconnect the throttle linkages, the governor linkages, and have it easier taking out the governor. But so take the cap off. You'll either have a flat piece of foam that you can just take out, or you'll have this filter right here with this wing nut. So you'll go ahead and disconnect this wing nut for my situation and pull the air filter right out of there. So then what you'll do next is you'll take your impact or your ratchet, and you'll just have your 10mm on it and take out these two nuts right here. You're not going to have many pieces, but you will have enough to make you a little pile. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take off the airbox housing. The Phillips head screwdriver does come into play here. There are two screws inside of here that you could choose to take out or leave in. I don't know what they're holding, just to be honest with you. If you don't, leave it in the comment section below. But for right now, that's why this guy's part of the tool group. But we'll just pull the airbox housing out. If you do find that to be difficult at first, it could be because your choke lever or your gas cutoff switch is just, if they're all the way to the right, they can be trouble in trying to get that airbox off. So make sure you put them all the way to the left. And so next, I'll go ahead and move that out of the way. Next, you'll see that we need to take apart the throttle setup. So what you'll do is you'll disconnect. This is where you'll use your 5/16 socket and you'll take out this screw here and this bolt here and this bolt here. So I'll go ahead and show you all that. If I can even take it off. So put that right there. And put that guy right there. Once it's off, it will start pulling back, and that's because the spring is still in there. So you'll take your needle nose pliers, pull the spring forward, and out of the hole. And the spring was located in that hole right there. So then you'll set that aside right there. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is we're going to want to take out the gas tank. But first, let's go ahead and disconnect the carburetor throttle system. So you'll go ahead, and this metal rod right here, you pull it straight out once it's at a back position. And then you'll take your needle nose pliers again and grab the smaller spring and pull it right out of that smaller hole right there. And you can set that aside. Now we're going to want to take out the gas tank. Now, this bolt right here is usually tied in, but it was a little stuck today. You're going to want to remove this bolt right here. And under the gas tank, there are going to be two 10mm nuts that you can take off that hold in the gas tank. And then this bolt is a 5/16. So once they're completely out, I'll put that over there. Once they're taken out, then you can lift the gas tank up. Once the gas tank's up, you will note that it doesn't just come up freely. If you look inside of there is the clamp for the gas hose, the gas line. And you're just going to want to take your needle nose pliers and clamp those babies down. Pull it down a little bit, and then give it a little bit of a tug, or a lot of a tug, just so you can try to get that hose to be disconnected. Yeah, a little bit of force there, Junior. A little bit of force there. So once the fuel tank's off, you'll notice the governor assembly. So what you're going to want to do is we're just going to get rid of this bad boy, so when we get in the case, we can just get rid of him all together. So it looks like to me that he's a 5/16, and I'm wrong. He's a 10 millimeter. You're just going to want to go ahead and take that nut out. Put him down. Put the bolt down. And I will be making a video later to make a direct throttle switch to get rid of some of these extra springs and rods. And so what you're going to do next is you're going to pull straight up on this bad boy. After you, of course, take out the clip in there. So you're going to set him down and pull this bad boy out. I'm going to take a little bit of force. I'm going to grab my other hammer over here. So it looks like he wants to pull a gas tank today. It'd be a little difficult for us. But he came out with the back of the hammer. So you're just going to set that bad boy aside. And then in part 2 of this video, I'll show you all how to take the crankcase. We'll split the case and I'll show you on the inside how to take out the governor. So stay tuned. So next we have to remove all 6 of the 10 millimeter bolts that hold the case in. So I've already removed them, so I'm just going to show you what they're at. Alright, once they're off to the side there, you want to be very, very careful when removing the case. I've already taken it off because, as you see, set it off to the side right there. As you see, there is the black gasket on there. This is a brand new engine, so I was expecting it to be in pretty good condition. But what you can do if it is sticking, you can take a flat head and run it very slowly, so you just try not to rip it. Because I know certain engines, you could have had it for 6 years, and you don't want it to rip on you. You have to buy another one. But anyway, if you look in there, that's the governor. So what we'll have to do is, I know the light's kind of killing you guys, but this piece right here needs to be knocked out, and you can kind of see it in there swirling around. So what we're going to do is, you can either cut it off with a grinding tool, or you can take a pretty thick enough to flathead to stick into this hole and kind of beat it down. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to move these internals so that when you do knock it down with the hammer, that it doesn't come in contact. And it will rub a little bit, but and if you don't want to cut it, this is what you'll have to do, and I'll show you that in the next part. Now the engine's right side up again, we can go ahead and try to hit it out. So I'll give you a good look inside again with the flashlight, and kind of show you that that piece of metal that's in front of the gear right now is what kind of controls the governor, and we're gonna need to knock that out. And once I pulled the pull start a little bit, it gave it kind of clearance enough to sink down. And then what you're going to want to do is stick whatever screwdriver, flathead, or Phillips that will fit in there. And make sure there's enough clearance, and you're just going to try to hit it out a little bit. So I'm just going to grab my screwdriver here and just tap it down. Alright, so you'll see that my guy's kind of stuck in there, but, well, now we're free. But anyway, if you look down in there, I'll give you the flashlight, the guy's kind of pushed out. Make sure you grab that washer that kind of went out there too with it, and once that's able to be removed, I'll go ahead and see if I can get them with some needle nose. you may just have to fish them out with the flathead or whatever screwdriver you're using, and maybe even give it a so right now if you look in there, the it is free, so you just gotta keep dabbling with it until he'll finally hit the ground. But you do get the point. So it took a little bit of negotiating, but I ended up getting this piece out. It just was a little camera shy and didn't want to come out. But you'll notice this white cap here, and that white cap belongs to the governor assembly. And you'll notice on the back of that white cap is a small, very thin washer. You're going to make sure you want to grab that before it falls in your engine. But if you go ahead and get a look in there, you'll see the governor assembly without the white cap. And whenever you point to, there's a clip in there, and I'll point to you real quick. There's a clip onto that metal beam right there, and it's kind of like an O-ring clip. It's going to take a long time for you to get it out, but once it's out, the whole assembly will slide off, and there's a washer behind that, and I'll show it to you in a few minutes once it's off. What you're going to want to do is, the tools you'll need is the long flathead to try to snap off an O-ring, and a hammer just to kind of get it sat under there. But I'll show you in a few minutes what that looks like, so stay tuned.
2 hours later.
Alright, took a little bit, but it came out. So let's take a look down in here. So you'll see there's the rod. It's obviously missing the governor. Now there is a very thin washer on the bottom, and I'll show it to you right now. So there's two ways you can get this thing out. You can either take your time and be, very gentle with it, just to try to get this little clip that will be around the metal rod in there out, or you can just hit it with a larger size flathead and kind of bend it and break it off. The governor, it's not going to go back in regardless. But anyway, so there's the flat washer that you need to make sure you take out. If you do not take this out, then it can cause serious damage or even destroy your engine by bouncing around in there. So the next thing we need to address, and the last thing besides putting it back all together, is the hole. You can't have a hole with all that oil in there. So what you're going to want to do is, this is the bolt that came with the it came with this setup right here for the linkage. So what you can do is you can fill it up with high temp gasket make red RTV, and you can stick it in that hole and seal it up for it. Or you can try to get, I like to use these little screws. It gives it a better seal. This doesn't really seal it that much in there, it just kind of sits in there. I mean, it clogs the hole, but it could come out. But definitely look at trying to get a little screw. Probably the same size as this or smaller, so you don't have the piece sticking out that hole right there where all the grease is. But anyway, once you do that, read the instructions on the back of your RTV to know whenever you can cut on your engine. You definitely don't want to have it wet, and you definitely don't want to put this thing completely back together and crank on the engine and have the bolts shoot out. So make sure you read your instructions, and there's no point in me showing you how to put the engine back together. But that's all you need to do for the governor. Like, comment, and subscribe. And if anybody wants to see, a part 2, I guess, of this video for the engine actually turning on and everything after the governor is removed, let me know. We do like top speed runs, something like that on a go-kart. Just let me know. But I appreciate it. Like, comment, and subscribe again, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.